morning, I'm Jen from Nextjen Gluten-Free, and since we're making breakfast, I'm going to show you how to make your own gluten-free English muffins, because they're not exactly the easiest thing to find, and they are delicious, and now you can make bennies and have brunch and make your own English muffin. So for our ingredients for our gluten-free English muffin today, we're going to be starting with my all-purpose flour, so Nextjen Gluten-Free all-purpose, and that gets mixed with warm milk, water. We have vegetable shortening here, a little bit more flour for our yeast, and a little bit more milk, then some sugar, salt, and a little baking powder so we can give it a little extra air right at the finish. I'm going to start by warming up the liquid for our dough. I have my vegetable shortening already melted in here. I'm going to be adding all of my milk to that and the water. Put it on the heat and let it get warm. So in here I've just put in the yeast for the recipe and a little bit of the flour. And I'm going to be adding milk to this. You have the flour in there, so the yeast has something to eat, because the yeast is a live organism. You need it to have something to feed on. So in goes the milk, and that's just room temperature milk. And then I'm just gonna give this a quick mix, just until it's a smooth paste. And I'll set that aside. So in with my flour, I'm actually adding the sugar from the recipe, which is about a teaspoon, and salt to the recipe. And we'll save the baking powder for the very end. Just gonna give this a quick turn. But now this is coming into the mixer. And you can see that there's just a little steam there. Now I'm gonna turn it on to mix. The thing to note is that this is gonna be fairly hot because you've just added hot liquid. So if you put the yeast in right away, it would be too hot for the yeast. So we just need to mix this a little bit longer, or just let it cool a moment until it's body temperature. So the same temperature as your hand. So now that my dough is actually not too hot any longer, I'm gonna be adding my yeast and flour and milk mixture. And any milk is fine for this. You can go ahead and make it with soy or with almond milk. And right at the last, I'm adding my baking powder too. That goes in. We let it mix. And you can just check it, because you would notice little speckles of yeast. When everything is mixed and all the same color, it's a good sign that you have completed the mixing stage. I'm going to take this off and get ready to roll. For rolling in gluten-free baking, I'm using sweet white rice. We are going to take our gluten-free English muffin mix and move it onto the counter. Just going to dust my hands so that they're well coated in a little sweet white rice. And now nothing will stick to my hands at all. So that's how you just set yourself up here. You could almost do this without a rolling pin if you really wanted to. I like a rolling pin though, just a habit. Get it nice and even here. And I would say that that's enough rolling for what we want to do. It's not a very thick dough. It's going to double up in size because the baking powder and the yeast are going to have a chance to grow, and then we'll put it on the griddle and we will be making some beautiful English muffins. So while I leave my English muffins to rise, I'm just going to get the griddle ready. It's already warm. It's at 325, and I'm just going to get a little bit of vegetable shortening on here. So I'm just going to check on the English muffins here, and as you can see, they have risen up. They're not fully double in size yet, but they're coming. They're going on to the griddle here. I'm just gonna move them around a little so that they get coated with the fat. And I am just turning them to make sure that they're not sticking to the pan. So I'm gonna be turning over our English muffins, and as you can see, they are golden and beautiful, and they have a good bit of that crispiness that you expect of an English muffin. And now, again, it just requires a little patience to get that second rise and then to get them baked through. So these are coming off, and I'm gonna let them cool, and then I'll slice them for breakfast. There you go. That is how you go through all the steps to make yourself English muffins gluten-free. For more recipes, check out nextjen.ca or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can watch videos on how to make all the recipes. Enjoy.